Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrath Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Sunday, the 11th of Muharram 1445, corresponding with the English date 30th of July 2023. This Majlis took place at Baitul Azkar, the residence of Hazrat Wala in Wasiabad, Allahabad, UP, India. Hazrat Wala is saying, Tasheel tariq suluk, asal sabil li'abir sabil, as Hakimul Ummah, Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Tanwi, rahimahullah. So here we're speaking about tasheel and making things easy and absolutely simple. A person is going, he's traveling. We went to Kashmir. You're trying to make everything as easy as possible. The safar was okay, and just some type of pain in the back, etc. But let's continue. Here, Hazrat Hakimul Ummah, Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Tanwi, rahimahullah ta'ala, these are his statements, or these statements which Hazrat Hakimul Ummah, Maulana Ashraf Ali Tanwi, rahimahullah, made in response to a question asked by Hazrat Khaja Azizul Hasan Madzub, rahmatullah alayh. I take the opportunity to quote them. Now, Hazrat Khaja Azizul Hasan Madzub had a very celebrated position in the court and in the company, or in the majlis, or in the presence, in the khidmat of Hazrat Tanwi rahmatullah alayh. Now, this question here, अर्ज किया कि हज़रत जो फरमाया करते हैं कि आमाल मअमूर बिहा सब इख्तियारी है, और इख्तियारी उमूर में कोताही का इलाज बजुज़ हिम्मत और इस्तेमाल इख्तियार और कुछ नहीं, तो ये बज़ाहिर बहुत मामूली सी बात है, फिर तरीक़ में अहमियत ही क्या रही. The question that he asks here is that about ikhtiyari umur mein kotahi ki ilaj, a treatment for shortcomings in voluntary matters, in controllable matters. A treatment for shortcomings in controllable and voluntary matters. The question reads, Hazrat constantly says that actions that we have been ordered to carry out are within man's choice, and that the only treatment for shortcomings in this regard is for a person to pluck the courage and utilize his choice. Now, this appears to be a simple matter. What then will be the need for the tariqat? Now, Hazrat Tanwi rahimahullah then answers, फरमाया कि है तो मामूली और मोटी बात, लेकिन लोगों को इस जानिब इल्तिफात नहीं, हालांकि इसी पर दारो मदार है तमाम इस्लाहात का, और यही है असल इलाज तमाम कोताहियों का. He says it so beautifully. The answer to that question of Hazrat Khaja Azizul Hasan Madzub is, it is certainly a simple and easy. It is certainly simple and easy. I mean, we told you to pluck up courage and utilize the choice. You're asking that it appears to be simple, and then what's the need of the tariqat, etc. It's certainly easy. So he says in the answer, it is certainly simple and easy. However, people pay no attention to it, whereas all rectification is based around it, and it is a fundamental treatment and ilaj. Meaning, people don't pay attention to this. People don't pay attention to this. Now Hazrat Wala is saying, asal cheez is himmat and irada. The essence here we're speaking about is that of making an intention and plucking up the courage. Plucking up the courage and utilizing the choice that Allah Ta'ala has given you. So Hazrat Tanvi, Rahmatullah alayhi, had simplified this year so much. I mean, the caption and the heading there is going to tell you all about it. Tasheel-e-Tariq Suluk. That this tariq and this path and this walk, this direction that we are walking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how easy and simple and basic Hazrat Tanvi made it for the people. Deen aasan hai. Hazrat Tanvi used to say himself, Deen aasan hai. The deen is simple. But what did he actually mean by that? He used to say, Kul deen. Deen, all in all of it. Just like how Allah Ta'ala has made the apparent, external deen, zahiri deen, easy, similarly, He has made the batini deen easy. The internal aspect and the internal dimension as well. Now Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran Majid, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Indeed, have achieved success the mu'mineen, the believing people. Which one of them? الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Allah Ta'ala speaks about two things. One is salat, and the other one is that of devotion, concentration, and sincerity, khushu'. So, it is salat, but coupled with khushu' and khuzu'. Now listen to this incident of Hazrat Shaykh ul Hind. He was teaching, and then the question comes, it could have been from Hazrat Tanvi or one of his colleagues. What was it? It was about that a person is reading salat, on the discussion of that hadith. So the question came about that can a person even read that type of a salat without these thoughts, without these wasawis coming into his mind? Can a person even read a salat like that? So the question is coming from that side. But look at the answer. And why not? Because Shaykh ul Hind is giving the answer. He answered and he said, Kya? Koshish kiya kabhi? Did you even try achieving it in the first place? You're asking me, is this possible? But tell me, for one moment, did you even try this out once in your life to try and perform a salat of that caliber and that nature? First do it. First try it, and then we can start talking after that. I wouldn't even say, Hazrat Wala says, that an ilzami jawab just said to shut someone. No, this is a tahqiqi jawab, an answer which was done after calculation, deep thought and research. Tahqiqi jawab. Hazrat Maulana Abrar al-Haq used to fasten his hands after making the takbir-e-tahrima, Allahu Akbar, and then I would see him making tajdeed. He would drop his hands and then make the takbir again. Maybe at that time he did not feel, perceive and enjoy that type or level of niyat or khushu or khudu that he really desired, due to which he made tajdeed and started again. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to say over and over again, he used to ask us, rather day after day, Kis liye aaya? Why have you come? Then we would go on to say that Hazrat, we came for Islah. And then he would say, Bahut mushkil. Very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. He would ask those type of questions But who's the audience there? Great seniors also were there. Hazrat Maulana Jami Saheb, Sheikh Hanif Saheb, who was learning at that time at the feet of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb. So, what was this about? That bar, why would he ask the question over and over and and we were giving that same answer that he desired from us, that we have came for Islah. Why? He wanted us not to miss the bus. He didn't want us to miss that concept and the main and sole object and goal, the maqsad of the establishment of the khanqa. Otherwise, people will come and go and nothing is achieved. Log to aate jate hai mashayikh ke paas. But what is it all about? Rasman, just customary. They came just because they came, but not really in the true sense for Islah. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Saheb used to say that over and over again. Someone said to Hazrat Tanvi that certain person, he stayed so many days in the sohbat of the Buzrugs, but he's just like that. Just like how he was, he's just the same. No improvement, no tarakki, no progress. That was said. And what did he say? Rehne se kya hota hai? By means of staying and sitting with a Buzrug, what is achieved? What will be achieved? What can be achieved? Nothing. Islah ki niyat ke saath rehne se, tab to you have to stay with the niyat of rehabilitation, rectification, reformation. You have to have the niyat of Islah, then something is going to happen. Otherwise nothing. It will be customary. It will be just sitting there idle, nothing, aimlessly. Hazrat Tanvi, somebody came into his khidmat. And he would make, he was actually a khadim. But what was said about that there? Eventually in the end, this was the conclusion, that did not stay for one day also for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not for one day he do or sit or be there for Allah. So Hazrat used to quote these type of examples to us, saying all of this here so that he could leave some mark and impression of what he wanted for us and not forgetting our objective. So here it is said, it is certainly simple and easy, but people don't pay attention to it, whereas all of Islah, all of rectification is based around this. It is based around himmat and isti'mal ikhtiyar. It is to pluck up the courage and utilize that choice, that ikhtiyar, that voluntary option that you have, that in the control, ikhtiyari umur mein, controllable matters. So you need to pluck up the courage and you need to utilize that choice. We're saying pluck up the courage and utilize the choice. You have the choice to do that. Ikhtiyari umur. And whatever Allah Ta'ala has commanded us is all under the ambit and falls all under the category of controllable matters. Otherwise, Allah Ta'ala would have not ordered us to do that in the first place. Take the example of the Tasbih Fatimi. You find it in other ahadith also brought down and made easier to such an extent that it is mentioned, not even 33, no. It is mentioned in a much more simplified manner. 10 Subhanallah, 10 Alhamdulillah, and 10 Allahu Akbar. How easy. But bari mushkil. Then too, you would find it so hard. Study that and see it. Even that amount, many times, a lot of the times, even that amount is not achieved, not done, no importance. As Hazrat Tanvi has said, that no importance is attach to it. However, people do not pay attention to it, whereas the entire of Islam is based on this. So who reads this here? Who even wants to listen to this here? I mean, it's said there just in a minute. So the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought such an easy deen to us. So खून दिल पीने को, लख्त जिगर खाने को, यही ग़िज़ा मिलती है जाना तेरी दीवाने को. So I mean, you have to, some type of difficulty and sacrifice you have to undergo. But even this amount seems or is made to be difficult in the eyes of people. Why? They don't use. What don't they use? They don't pluck up the courage, himmat, and they don't make isti'mal of ikhtiyar. They don't use their choice. There's no himmat and there's no choice. Ji, himmat or isti'mal ikhtiyar. That's missing in all of it. That's why we are failing. You know, we went, there was Dastar Bandi, Jalsa also, and people wanted sanad, and I went to Kashmir, but my sanad is that of Kashmir. Gave some people khilafat also, like how people are given the khilafat. In fact, right towards the end, the last majma, I can't even tell you about the capacity and the crowd, how people came in droves. It brought much happiness. Now, Hazrat Shah Sahib, Hazrat Shah Anwar Shah Kashmiri, his house, right there at the top. I mean, it is in the milkiyat and possession of government, but I had an opportunity to see it. Some people are staying, and from a young boy, from a young age, I have been listening to this here, Shah Anwar, Hamare Ustad Shah Anwar. Nevertheless, we went to the qabr of his father as well. So what we are speaking about here is azm and irada. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab every day would ask, Kaise aaye? Kyun aaye? How come you people came? What you want? What do you want to achieve? But Mauli Hanif was there, Jami Sahab was there, but he used to ask this over and over again. Then we would answer, we came for Islah. Then he would say, Bahut mushkil. So he was trying to create this niyat, to rectify our niyat in the heart. Otherwise, it would have been like that very same example that he used to quote for us about this person on the camel doing the transporting back in the day there in Makkah Mukarramah, from Makkah to Mina to Muzdalifah to Arafat, whatever it was. And to this extent, he was there in such a sacred place. But then too, he asked the question, आखिर में लोग यहाँ क्यों आते हैं? But tell me, what is this all about? Why do people come here? He was there in the holy lands, Makkah, Medina, Muzdalifah, Mina, Arafat, doing this business of conveying people with his shuttle service, maybe on his camel or on in his car or whatever it was. But he did not know why people are there. He didn't even know about the importance and the sacredness of that place. And that's why Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to quote these type of things, that रहने से क्या होता है? By staying, what will be achieved? So from that, quoting these examples, he would try to say, it's greatly possible you came here to the Khanqa, but रहने से क्या होता है? You're there in the Haram. You're in Makkah, Medina, Muzdalifah, this, that, and the other, and you don't even know anything about it or of the importance of it or why people have come there or why am I even there. You wouldn't even know that. So it's greatly possible that you have come here but you know nothing about these places. Barik baat, but he used to make istidlal from that particular incident, telling us that you people have come to the Khanqa, but it's greatly possible that you don't even know why you're here. You don't even know the importance of it. You'll come, you'll stay, you'll go, and nothing will be achieved. And things like this has happened in the Khanqas before. So make your niyat durust and correct. So we were saying there earlier that Fala Admi itne din rahe. He stayed so many long days with the Buzrugs, but nothing was achieved. The example of that is a person sitting there with a doctor, a physician. He's sitting there, he's looking at him, he's coming, he's going. Rehne se kya hota hai? By him sitting there and staying there, what will happen? Nothing at all will be achieved, but he has to interact. He has to speak to that tabib. He has to tell him what's the problem. He has to be sincere enough to listen with an attentive ear, take it, absorb it, digest it, and then go and practice on that, take that medication, etc. Nevertheless, we continue. Hazrat Tanvi is saying, Tasawwuf kama hasal. The essence of tasawwuf. मैं कहाँ करता हूँ कि खुलूस और हिम्मत, बस ये दो चीजें मा हसल है. Hazrat Tanvi used to say, I always say that sincerity and determination, khulus and himmat, sincerity and determination, these two are the essentials of tasawwuf. सारे तसव्वुफ और सारी पीरी मुरीदी का, क्योंकि अगर हिम्मत न होगी तो अमल न होगा, और अगर खुलूस न हुआ तो अमल नाकिस होगा. So he would say this here, if a person does not have the determination, then there will be no amal that will come into place. And if there is no sincerity, the action can be there, but it will be defective. Now, if both of these are combined, अगर इन दोनों चीजों को जमा कर लिया जाए, if the sincerity, khulus, and himmat, determination, if these two things are put together combined, there will be no need for a sheikh. There will be no need. फिर शेख की भी जरूरत नहीं. Why? क्योंकि शेख भी बस दो चीजें की तालीम करता है, दफ़े कुल्फत और तहसील सहूलत. Because the sheikh does the very same thing. What does the sheikh do? He teaches two things: how to remove distress and how to acquire ease. How to remove distress and how to acquire ease. And this year it comes about with khulus and with himmat. Khulus and himmat. So बहुत जामी बात है. He said everything in these two lines. I mean, it is for this reason that he was called Hakimul Ummah. So Allah Ta'ala niyat ko durust farma de. Allah Ta'ala make our niyat and our intention correct. So al-wudu al-infisalu anil khalq. Wal-salat al-ittisalu bil-haq. Wudu, in essence, is separation from the makhluk of Allah. You're going away from them. And salat, in essence, is where you meet Allah Himself. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to prepare for his wudu at the time of dhuhr. His wudu he would take such a long time in that wudu, and he was so particular about it. I mean, of course, no wastage of water in that, but that wudu then, many of the times, was for dhuhr, asr, maghrib, and sometimes even for isha. So Allah Ta'ala give us the fahm of tariq and this path walking to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And Allah Ta'ala give us talab, because if we have a good understanding and we have that thirst, then kamyabi and success will come about. So if you have talab, thirst, then you would have determination. And if you have determination, the person who has this himmat and this talab and this determination, then Allah will not let his works go to waste. कामयाबी तो काम से होगी, न कि हुस्न कलाम से होगी, फिक्र की इल्तिजाम से होगी, जिक्र के एहतिमाम से होगी. Success will come, but you'll have to do something, not just with sweet talks, rather with being punctual with your zikr and having fikr for islah and reformation. So Hazrat Khaja Saheb, this share was of his, and Hazrat Tanvi liked these couplets of his. Nevertheless, many people became murid. What was our duty? To take the message and to pass it on. I have to do it myself, and I'm passing it on to others as well. You know, in Deoband, when I go to Deoband, then I go to Shah Saheb there as well. Nevertheless, speaking about Hazrat Shah Anwar, he was no simple ordinary person. Koi mamuli aadmi nahi the. He was an extraordinary person. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, when he used to quote him, he would say, Hamara Ustad, Hazrat Shah Sahab. I mean, one was Hazrat Tanvi, that was his sheikh. But teacher-wise, he would always say this here. And he would never say this for anyone else. But he would say, Hamara Ustad, Hazrat Shah Sahab. You know, I mean, he would quote these ahadith or these riwayat. This one is about Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, where a person is caught stealing red-handed. Upon interrogation, the person says, Wallahi ma saraktu. I take a qasam in the name of Allah, I never stole. I did not steal. Immediately, Isa alayhi salatu wassalam says, Sadaqta. Now, how would you calculate that? He sees the man stealing, catches him red-handed in the act stealing, and after that the man says, Wallah, I take a qasam in the name of Allah, I did not steal. Isa alayhi salatu wassalam then says, Sadaqta, you have spoken the truth. Now the ishkal comes about that this waqia is about the Nabi of Allah, Isa alayhi salatu wassalam. He catches the man red-handed stealing. The person has to say about it when he's held, interrogated, that I take the qasam in the name of Allah that I did not steal. So there's an ishkal here. So Hazrat Shah Saheb would say that these were the Ahlullah. I mean, Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, he's a Nabi of Allah. Do you understand the capacity of his piety, spirituality, purity of heart and soul? जब किसी चीज में अल्लाह का नाम आता है तो अपने चश्मे दीद चीज की भी तकजीब करते हैं. ये लोग ऐसे हैं. These saintly pious souls are such that when the name of Allah comes in at a certain point in some type of discussion, then they even belie what they actually seen with their own eyes. When they hear the name of Allah, when the man said, I take a qasam in Allah's name, I did not steal, then they even make takzeeb of what their own eyes seen. They belie that because their souls are so pure, and the effect and the utterance and them hearing and the vibration of the name of Allah through their blood and veins and their heart and their body is to that extent. Allahu Akbar. And then he would go on to say, Hamare Ustad, usi mein se the. Hazrat Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to speak about Hazrat Shah Anwar, that my Ustad was like that. That was his caliber. You know, when I go to Deoband also, every time there's a dawat, and Shah Sahib there now makes a zabardast dawat there. But nevertheless, I want to say to you, Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq in the hidayat, ke hum akabirin, Allah Ta'ala हमको अकाबिरीन की पहचानने की तौफीक अता फरमा दे. He gives us the tawfiq and the hidayat of truly recognizing and understanding who our mashayikh were. Who were they? They were Jami'ul Ilm wal Amal wal Hal wal Maqam. They were so all comprehensive, so complete in every aspect: knowledge, amal, spiritual state, and high maqam and proximity stations close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Hazrat Shah Sahib, Hazrat Shah Anwar was no ordinary simple person. He was extraordinary. What can I tell you about him? Islam ki haqqaniyat ki dalil. His bringing Islam was actually like a proof in the haqqaniyat and the truthfulness of Islam. This is the capacity, the capability, the caliber of the personality under discussion. Ayatum min ayatillah, a sign from amongst the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Maine socha, I seen, and I looked at those mountains, and I said, here in Kashmir, looking at those mountains, Hazrat Shah Sahib was born here. Nevertheless, I said so much. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.